Welcome to the Richmond Events podcast, where we take you inside the UK's most exclusive business forums. You'll get to meet the delegates, suppliers and speakers shaping their industries. Richmond Events, this is where business gets done.
My name is Richard Atkinson. I'm a lecturer at Aston University for executive education for companies already employed in supply chain business.
My name is Stephanie Kelly and I am a supply chain management apprentice at AstraZeneca.
My name is Felix Hutchinson and I'm a supply chain quality manager at Airbus.
Incredible. So let's start around the discussion that you've had taking place today. What has that been about?
So I'll open with what our piece has been. So twice today we've had the privilege of engaging senior leaders at Richmond on the challenge. So we posed them the challenge that we've spent several hundred years ruining our planet, and we've done very well at that. We've also concentrated wealth by making more and more people relatively poorer. So we've posed those challenges and then given feedback on what things we can do better on the planet to look after the only lifeboat we've got. So that's been the challenge we've posed today. And I think it's fair to say, colleagues, that we've really enjoyed the conversations with the senior leader. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, we've had lots of interesting feedback from across a range of industries. A lot of things that you wouldn't have previously thought about or considered, but having this chance to discuss really opens everyone's minds up to these new ideas.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. And being able to be a part of it as an apprentice is great to get that exposure as well, and to speak to people at all different levels of experience within industry. It's really great to be able to speak to them about what they're experiencing within their companies.
And how receptive and open have they been? It's a hard thing to hear. You've ruined the planet, and now we've got to come in and fix it.
I think so. I think very receptive, and we're delighted to have the opportunity to work with these companies and many other globally leading companies which have seen the importance of education in supply chain. So to confront these challenges. So I set the situation and set the facts out, and then we listen to ideas, and then colleagues offer them feedback. And one of the things I think we took away today was that it's important to have this voice on the boards of companies so that older people like me, mainly old men, can't make decisions that just suit themselves. They have to be accountable to the next generation and the generation that will follow that. But did you feel included today by our guests?
Yeah, I think everyone knows that this is an issue. Everyone has felt the impact already. So everyone's very keen to engage with the topic. Everyone's very keen to discuss it and see what other people think about it too.
And I think hopefully, Stephanie, you'll echo that this is very much part of a degree apprenticeship. They're going to get degrees, but there's so much more. If we can expand the network, if we can connect with the current leadership, if we can share ideas. But did you feel that your ideas were welcome and included today?
Absolutely, yeah. Everybody that I spoke to was really open to share their experiences and were willing to let me know how to progress in my career. So I think that's been really valuable, a really valuable lesson as well, that people are there to support you, no matter what industry or what company they're from. Everybody in supply chain is willing to support.
And I think it's wonderful that our colleagues are superb. We're blessed to work with brilliant people, brilliant leaders of the future, but they need to be visible too in this modern world, and you're helping us be visible, and Richmond very much is helping us be visible. And we at Aston University, we're the leading UK university in providing this type of education, but we're blessed to work with Airbus, AstraZeneca and many other global great corporations that will invest in the next generation of leadership, which I feel privileged to work with these colleagues and feel that we have some hope for the future if we include them now. And how do you... be honest, how do you find our education? Do you find it inclusive and something to take part in?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've learnt a lot. We've covered all kinds of topics. It's given a really holistic view of not just supply chain management in the context of industry, but supply chain management in the context of the world. Not just looking at how do we improve things for ourselves, but how do we improve the planet in general? How do we achieve a sustainable future?
Yeah, Absolutely.
And what sort of things do you think today struck you, Stephanie, from all our conversations today? Were there some ideas that you thought were great to take away?
Yeah, I think the majority of the discussions we had were around mindset and culture of companies and how that can affect ESG within supply chains. So I think that was the key takeaway from me, that it comes from the top down.
Very much so. And one of the key points that Stephanie shared with the leaders we had here from Richmond was the culture comes from the top.
Yeah.
So that visibility of how she or he as the CEO or managing director might behave, and that culture flows down, and that culture of inclusivity and making people involved in finding the innovations that will change the way we treat things, and that we can look after the world. So I think we've had a great time, quite frankly, so far.
Absolutely.
And we've got more to go. It's been a real privilege for us to be involved, from Aston, from AstraZeneca and from Airbus. And I salute their companies for allowing them to be involved in this, or for encouraging them.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's been a fantastic opportunity.
I mean, having the opportunity to sit in a room of, senior leaders and C-suite, do you see that innovation in itself that could be opening doors, and you could be sitting in rooms of future C-suites and then going to support them in this way forward as well?
Go ahead.
Absolutely. I think we're always taught that networking is your most powerful tool, and that is how you're going to progress in your career. So I think being able to be at these events so early on in our career could give us that opportunity and that foundation to have that network to be able to support us further on in our career.
Any more thoughts, Felix?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's on top of networking, we're also getting to see what are the characteristics that bring people to this level, that bring them to this point. What are the things that we should try to emulate as we go through our careers? Yeah. What should we aim to be? Who should we try and have as our role models? I think this has been a really good example of what we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I think one of the ideas we spoke about today, I mean, it's not new, but it might be new to some, is the idea of having really formed boards that have representatives from the next generation sitting around the board table, such that old folk can't just come up with ideas that suit themselves, and they have to be accountable to the next generation and the generation that follows that, if we're going to be sustainable and successful at the same time. And I get an immense amount of pride from my job, being able to work with those who will lead us into the future. And so it's been great to be at Richmond. We've really enjoyed ourselves.
I love it. And I mean, something that we've heard a lot about today as well is the fact that what they're doing is bringing supply chain leaders across, but from so many different industries, that all of a sudden you're hearing ideas in one industry that you wouldn't have necessarily thought of because it didn't automatically fit yours. Are you seeing that happening in here, that they're all of a sudden thinking differently because of what's being put in front of them?
We particularly formed them in different groups, so they had to work together. But it's the structure that we're used to. So these colleagues sit with, as we said, we've got Airbus and AstraZeneca, but we also have in the same room GlaxoSmithKline. We also have British Aerospace. We also have Pepsi and Coca-Cola in the same room. Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, all coming together. And this has grown just over the last 5 years, that all these great companies have come together just for nurturing this type of network and professional education. And we take an enormous amount of pride in what we get to do to build this professional skill for the future. We certainly need it, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah. How quickly can you see this beginning to impact the future and make those changes that need to be happening yesterday?
Well, I'll offer a view. Never before has humanity known what it needs to do, so much about what it needs to do. We now know so much about what we need to do. Never before have we known so much about what we need to do. So it's just a matter of embracing it now and bringing it together and making those changes, being accountable to all stakeholders, not just the financial shareholders, and making sure we have that future in mind. So I see people who've already graduated from our programs already in leadership roles in major corporations. Some of them are here today as well, which is great, and they're reaping the benefit, reaping the rewards. So it's a great privilege, and I see those benefits happening all the time.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.